All right, so I'm back. I guess I can't play music. I guess I can't play music on here. They're gonna like stop my live again, so I didn't know. Who knew? Hey Rose, how are you? Yeah, so I was playing some music on here and they totally made me stop playing the music and they stopped my live. So anyway, that's fine. No problems. Make sure you share this. This is gonna be a really good one. Hey yo, thanks that you're back. Make sure you share this live. This is gonna be a really good one. It's something that a lot of people need to hear. I'm gonna purpose to keep this pretty short and sweet. I have a video on my YouTube channel about this a little later, but I just wanted to go live and talk about it. I know I got a lot of, this is gonna be good. I know I got a lot of interesting comments and not back channel, like I'm on Clubhouse, a lot of messages about, I hope I hope you can hear it all too. I got a lot of messages about, the detoxes and what about this and what about that and all these different things. And I just want to go live and expound upon it a little more, give my background in it so you guys can understand where I'm coming from and why I'm saying what I'm saying. You're cooking chicken gizzards right now? Oh yeah, that's excellent. I didn't know chicken gizzards were the intestines of the chicken. I had no idea until like a few months ago when I asked. I know some people swear by Yoni steaming. Oh yeah. And I'm going to talk about that. It's even with that, it's not that I think that it's quote unquote bad, but I think that the way people are doing it is pretty harmful, and it really needs to stop. So, let's just go ahead and get into it because I want everybody to be able to get the information. Please share this, and more people will be coming in as we go. Like I said, I don't want to keep this too long. I want to keep it pretty to the point. But I know I posted earlier today, and I was saying how stop buying detoxes, fibroid cures, and Yoni steams from people online. Majority of these people have no certification in any kind of traditional lineage of herbs, and they have no institutional certifications either. They really don't know what they're doing and what they're talking about. They are literally finding herbs through Google and YouTubing, and that's how they're finding these herbs and putting it in a pot the way they would season food, and then saying that this is going to help you, right? And they use very harsh herbs to make you go to the restroom, make you go to the bathroom, So let me just give a little background. And parasite cleanses, I learned that the hard way. Yeah, we're going to get into the parasite cleanses as well. That's something too that's in the mindset. And oftentimes it comes from this like health conscious community or whatever, thinking their intentions are good, but we'll talk about intentions as well. Let me write that down actually so I remember to hit that one really quick. Intentions are good, but that doesn't mean much. So my background when it comes to the health aspect of things is that I am a biomechanics practitioner. I was a trainer, but I stopped for a while so I could focus on myself because I was vegan and my health was deteriorating. I needed to focus on myself. So right now I'm just practicing. However, I am a biomechanics practitioner, and I also used to make and sell detoxes. So that puts me right on top of the line to be able to talk about this. I used to make and sell detoxes. I was one of those people that promoted, I didn't promote cleansing out all the mucus, but I did promote cleansing out mucus and cleansing out parasites and cleansing out fungus. And I never said all of it, but I did promote it. So I just want to let people know I did have that background in it. And hey, Omar, I did have that background in that. I was a part of of those people for a while, and I didn't know any better. Like I said, I'm a trainer, and that was like the nutrition aspect was just like a little alley-oop. You know what I mean? It wasn't my main focus. My main focus is biomechanics. But I just want to let people know my background that I didn't originate these cleanses, but I was a part of a company that made them and sold them and promoted a lot of this rhetoric that is false. And I just want to be a part of the opposite. I want to be a part of letting people know why you don't want to do these things and why you need to really be very careful about doing these things. So all that being said, when I was doing these detoxes in the beginning, yeah, and I really want to hit on these points because oftentimes this is how people get sucked in. And when I was doing these detoxes in the beginning, the way I even thought this was a good idea is because majority of us have some type of influence from our parents, our grandparents, of being cleaned out, right? Whether that's with castor oil, cod liver oil, or something like that. We have some type of recollection of that, right? And so when you're in this health community and you're thinking about being your better self and you want to be healthier, you kind of think, oh, it's not a bad idea to be cleansed out. I used to do that when I was young, right? And so in this idea of, oh, I did this when I was young, my parents did this, my great-grand, they did this to me, then the detox is okay, right? And that really kind of like allows us to feel more secure in doing it. But it's still a problem, right? So, but that's how many of us get sucked in. Oh, we did some kind of cleaning out when we were younger. Clearly, the detox is okay because we used to do it when we was younger. So this more intense, more defined detox is okay, right? And that's how we get sucked into it. That's how I got sucked into it, right? And then I started to actually implement these detoxes into programs. So what I would do was I would run tests of, and people agreed, we would do tests of about, I think like anywhere between 3 to 10 days. I did 2 protocols, particularly with myself, case studies with 2 groups. One group of 55 women, the other group of 35 women. And the age ranges were from 25 to 45, differing about a few years on both of those spectrums, 25 and 45. And the results that I got back was, it was mixed. And this is the reason why I want to give you this like behind the scenes view of it, is because people think that the feedback that they get from their detoxes is good. Because what happens when you take a detox, whether it's 3 days, whether it's, you're taking a detox for 3, 7, 10 days, which is what most people recommend. And you're taking these bitter herbs and they're stimulating your body. Basically, it's a laxative and it's stimulating your body, and you're going to the bathroom and boom, a week goes by and you're X amount of pounds lighter. Your skin is glowing. You have more energy. You can sleep. All of these, instant what is it? I don't say symptoms, but I guess so. Instant side effects that happen when you take a detox, right? Mostly because you're not regulating them naturally, mostly because you're not doing what you need to do naturally, and so your body needed that cleaning out, right? But what happens is that people get caught up in customer-client differentiation. And this separates people who are entrepreneurs and really just marketing to you well, and actual scientists or people who are purposing to really be honest with you. And that is this: when you get a detox, and I've had this happen to me plenty of times, everybody that bought the detox that I was selling, I won't name the company because I'm not trying to throw daggers like that. I'm going to focus on myself and say that, you know what, I was a part of the problem too. So when you get a detox and you do that detox, your skin does glow the next day. You do feel lighter. And if you're overweight, you will lose some pounds, right? You will sleep better. You will have more energy. In the immediate, you will have that. Because you probably needed to be cleaned out. Your body was looking for a way to regulate itself. But what happens is you have that customer-client issue that happens, where you have customers who purchase a detox and they have these immediate results, and they rave about the detox. They rave about it. And you're thinking, oh, this is a great product. This person knows what they're doing. Now, the difference between a customer and a client is the amount of detail and the longevity of that, right? So oftentimes a customer is somebody that purchases something 1 or 2 times. They may or may not leave a review. You really don't know what's going on their day-to-day. You have no idea. A client is somebody that you have an understanding of what's going on from their day-to-day. You're able to account for certain variables, and you have a long short-term, mid-term, and long-term relationship with that person, so you can understand how their body is adjusting and dealing with things over time. I had clients. Majority of these entrepreneurs have customers, and that's the biggest thing I want people to understand, is that when you're buying these detoxes and these Yoni steams from people online, first off, you should not even buy a detox from somebody online if they're giving you and selling you a generalized detox. Now that I'm going through my journey in Isese, I look and I get to see a traditional herbalist. Even when I was in Sierra Leone, I got to see a traditional herbalist who had lineage, who these things were passed down to her, and she was able to remedy certain situations first by consulting key, and then by doing the work that was necessary. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Like I said, I want to keep this short and concise, so I'm purposing to just, get through the information and get the point across. However, my point is that people are out here giving you guys a home remedy approach to something that is much more in depth. All right. Thank you, Omar. Yeah. If you want to come in at any point, Omar, just let me know. But yeah, people are giving you home remedies. All right. And what they're doing is, well, let me finish my customer client approach, and then I'll go to the home remedy. So they are not giving you accurate results over time. Okay, what they're doing is they're promoting all the reviews that people give them immediately and instantly, and then they're saying, oh, this works, boom. They're marketing to you. They're entrepreneurs, and you guys have to wrap your minds around it. I know the people who are watching here do, but just for everybody else, you got to wrap your mind around the fact that these are entrepreneurs selling a product, okay? They oftentimes don't have the healthcare background or anything like that. You're right. It should be bio-individual, right? When you have somebody who really knows what they're doing, they have a lineage, or they have some type of institutional training of any kind, what they will do is consult you first. They will consult you where they get to know what's going on. They will ask you questions, and they will either divine, or they will utilize those answers that you gave and either consult. If it's a traditionalist, they'll consult, whomever they will consult as far as, spirit or whatnot. They'll consult, and then they'll come back, and then they're making the remedy for you. Now, this is the big difference here. Yeah, this is the big difference here, right? When somebody is making a specific medicine for you, which is what a detox is, it is specific for your body. It is specific for your issue. It is specific, okay? A home remedy is something that anybody can do. You can find it on the internet. Everybody done talked about it, shared it around. It may or may not work, right? But a detox that people are giving and telling you to get into these detox programs for 3, 10, 17, 30 days, they're giving you home remedy approach and certification, meaning really none. And then they're telling you, oh, well, you can utilize this as though I'm a certified person. And that's the problem. That is the problem. They haven't prayed over these herbs. They haven't chanted or done anything else over these herbs, which is a traditional approach, because people like to bring in the whole spiritual aspect of things, right? A traditional approach would be to consult you first when it comes to a detox program, even a Yoni steam. You're still consulting first to understand what is going on, what your baseline is, what your normal is, okay? You're still consulting first. Then once they consult with you, they go through their own process, whether it be divining, if you're going through the spiritual means, or whether it be whatever process it takes for them to get the remedy. Boom, they get the remedy. If you're taking a traditional approach, they're praying over it, they're chanting over it. It may be rituals that need to happen depending on what you got going on. And then boom, then they give it to you. And it's specific for you. It's specific for you. It's not for everybody. It's not generalized. But what we're doing is, and I've been that person. That's why I'm purposing to let you guys know. People are Googling what herbs to detox. They're taking those herbs and putting it in and making it like they're seasoning food. There is no prayer. They have no type of connection to anything outside of themselves that they're really utilizing. They're calling it traditional because they're vegan or they're vegetarian or whatever. They're calling it spiritual because that's how they feel about themselves. And then they're selling it to you. And you think because it's making your skin glow the first day you use it, it's making you go to the bathroom and lose all this water weight and necessary feces that you need to be, eliminating anyway, and sleeping better and energy the next day, that boom, it's a magic pill. And it's not. Yeah, they haven't prayed over their medicine, and prayer is activation. 100%. Any traditionalist will tell you that. When I was in Sierra Leone, there was a woman there that had this skin issue. Thankfully, one of the ladies that was helping us cook, boom, what did she do? She was like, okay, I got you. She went and got herbs. She was a traditional herbalist, though. This was something that was passed down through lineage. I heard her in there doing certain prayers and chants and everything. It was a whole thing. It wasn't just putting something in a pot, brewing it, and then putting it in a bottle and slapping a good label on it. That's not it. And even when it comes to the Yoni steams, right? You can Yoni steam with water. I'm not against Yoni steams because that is something that is traditional that has been passed down through women and women and women. However, we are buying these Yoni steams or these Yoni herbs in a general way offline. That's the problem. When I went through De La Flor midwifery, she consulted me when I first stopped being vegan, and I was like, man, I gotta get my period back on. Like, just being transparent. I was like, I gotta get this thing together. What is the first thing she did? She was like, okay, boom, we're gonna consult you. She consulted me. She asked me what was going on. She got so deep in my stuff. I was like, girl, I don't even know the answer to that. You know, but she was there with me and literally like, okay, this is what you need. Okay, boom, I'm gonna send you these herbs right here. And she's also a spiritualist. So for me, it was like a win-win situation. And she's a certified midwife. So it was like a win-win situation for me. You know what I mean? She had studied in Mexico with all these different indigenous peoples and all these things. It was literally a win-win for me. They left Florida midwifery, 100%, okay? And she sent me a custom blend. Do I have it here? Yeah. She sent me a custom blend of herbs. Custom. Yoni steam. Okay? This was not just some general Yoni steam that I got offline and some pearls and all this kind of stuff that they done bought from different places and wholesaled it, and now they're retailing it to you. We have to stop that, and nobody is calling it out like that because everybody wants to play into this marketing scheme of, oh, holistic and oh, good intention. But good intention doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, right? I had good intentions for my health to be vegan. I almost killed myself. Okay? They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That to me sounds like it's a lot of good people going to hell simply for having good intentions. What result are you getting? And this is the reason why we need to ask questions before we purchase anything. Not how are the reviews. We need to ask who's making the product. Is this somebody that is at least certified in herbalism? Have they been trained in any kind of way? Do they have a lineage at all? Because if the answer is no, then you are just buying something that somebody else, and I saw it with my own eyes. Guys, I used to bake the detoxes too. People literally buy other people's detoxes or go into the store. They look on the back of the herbs and they look and see all the ingredients and they say, okay, boom, I can do that too. They Google online and they're like, oh, I heard about this herb. I'm going to add it to the detox. Oh, I heard about this herb. I'm going to add it to the detox. They have no idea how this stuff really happens. They have no idea. Yes, you can Yoni steam with a good quality water. And that's what I was told. You can simply Yoni steam with a good quality water. And it's okay. You don't always have to use the herbs. You can literally just Yoni steam with water. I'm so sick and tired of this sacred pussy marketing ploy. Got women sticking all kinds of objects and spices up their vagina. Yes, all kinds. And these people have no real, anything. They are literally just Googling and, oh, this looks good, and boom, they give it to you, and they spin it with this whole spiritual thing. And I almost don't even like the word anymore because it's so up here with it. And really, spirituality is very practical. It is extremely practical. And if it's not practical, it's probably not good spirituality. You probably own some stuff that somebody made up. Facts. Somebody made it up. And a lot of the times, people are just taking bits and pieces from every little culture and putting it together and making their own thing with it. This is not something that's been passed down through generations. This is not something that they know for real. This is something that people have been on YouTube following Sebi and Afrika and Jewel Pukram and all these other people that they've been following online, listening for these 4-hour lectures. All the herbs that they use to cure all these diseases. They get those herbs, write it down, and then boom, now they're giving it to you. And now you're buying it, and they have no background. They don't pray to those herbs. They don't chant. They don't do anything to those herbs. Those herbs are useless. You're putting kitchen spices up here. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Your kitchen spices and nothing more. And so it's on me as somebody who used to promote this to be the person to say, stop doing this. Stop it. I want to say also too, there's a difference between home remedies and a certified herbalist. Okay, somebody who's giving home remedies, I said this in the beginning, somebody who's giving home remedies, like what they call it, hotty toddy, You know, a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of lemon and lime and star anise and ginger and cinnamon. You can pop that back and it's really good for a cold. Those are home remedies, right? Our parents and grandparents used to give us a tablespoon or a teaspoon of castor oil. Take that down. Make sure you clean yourself every week, just like that. But that was 1 teaspoon, 1 day. That was not a 3, 7, 10-day cleanse, okay? And I'm going to get to the parasites in a minute. That was not a 3, 7, 10-day cleanse that these people got y'all doing. 30-day cleanse that they got y'all doing on some teas. Eating fruits and vegetables. Like that's supposed to sustain you. No. Okay? That stuff don't even have the same thing that breast milk have in it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not doing anything for yourself. We are being bamboozled and we are being told that, or we're being made to believe that marketing and good entrepreneurs are the same as certified herbalists and people who know what they're talking about. And it's not the same. They look good. They talk good. They will tell you anything you want to know. They will put those reviews up left and right. But let me tell you, they don't follow up with those people days, weeks, months later. Because if they did, they would get the same results that I got. What I got when I put people through 2 case studies, one of 55 women, one of 35. What I got was when I followed up with them, those women were like, oh, well, you know, we felt great the first like few days, but then it was like my energy went low. And then it was like, I kind of felt like I will make this shareable. And it's like, oh, I kind of felt like, you know, I was losing my mind a little bit. And I just went out and I started grounding and I felt okay. And I'm like, wait a minute. That sounds like it should be okay on some, oh, you're just detoxing. But no, that should not be how it is. You know? That's a sign you need a nutrition. You know what I mean? And then what really made me realize that this stuff wasn't working was the fact that people would be like, oh, I felt great the first few days, but then they aren't regulated anymore after that. They are needing the detox in order to go to the bathroom consistently. And this is why I wrote the book Self-Care, which is now on sale for $17 during this live. You can go get it. Even the new release. This is why I wrote the book Self-Care Regulations, because I realized that a lot of these quote unquote remedies and healthcare, you know, holistic approaches that all these people are selling y'all are just surface level things. And they're not actually anything that you really need to apply first. It's something that you apply second once you know what your normal is. But you got people selling you detoxes without you even knowing your normal. You don't even know if what you're doing is good or bad for you currently, because you're not really taking the time to observe and chart that. So now when you do the detox, anything that happens looks good to you because you don't even know what you was doing before. And that's the problem. I'm talking to you guys as somebody who biomechanics trainer and practitioner. Biomechanics meaning I have to see how the body is working with the nutrition that it's intaking and the way it moves. Not just nutrition, not just performance. It's literally how you take a step, okay, and how you handle stress. I get to see that with your movements. So like my training is totally different. It's totally different. And I just want to say, stop buying these detox programs online. Stop buying these people's Yoni steams. If they are not certified, do not buy it. You have to get past the marketing that they've given you, which is a bunch of reviews and a bunch of fear mongering, right? Like, oh, the parasites, they're gonna kill you and they're in your body and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, duh. Now, I do recommend you balance that out, because it has always been passed on, at least in my family, you do a deworming. Every 3 months or 6 months, you do your deworming. But it is not for no extra amount of days. It is not for, it's like 3 days max. But it's not for some extended long period of time. You don't have to go on some crazy vegan water fast or whatever. Like, no, because you're depleting your body of nutrients, okay? If you're going to go on a fast, you at least need to be drinking bone broth at the minimum. Right? Like, stop letting these people get into your heads. Majority of these people have no training. They like to be like, oh, Spirit told me. Well, Spirit told you after 10 years and they never tell you need to get some training for somebody? Spirit ain't never tell you to go to nobody's village and learn? Spirit ain't never tell you to go to nobody's institution and study? Never? What? Now I have to question what spirit you're talking about, because this sounds like a very ignorant spirit. This might be Jesse that died in the house somewhere and talking to you. I don't understand. I need to know for real. Yeah, Spirit told me. They love that term. Oh, Spirit told me this. Oh, and this is my favorite one. Well, it's all in our DNA. Ma'am, sir. Yeah, it is, but you still need to be able to obtain that information. There's a difference between having a knack for something and still cultivating that knack so that you have a skill. All right, a craft is something that you have to actually cultivate. Okay, fancy words, Africana aesthetics, and as you said, fear. Yeah, they got the dashikis on and the beads, and they telling you they from Isese and Ipa and all this kind of stuff. Listen, people be lying out here. Okay, now I'm not lying. I legit live that life, but I'm just saying. Okay, I purpose to give both sides of things. You need somebody that can consult you. Somebody, if you're going to go traditionalist, you need somebody that's going to consult you, and you need to know that they are practicing some type of spiritual system that is a tradition of generations, not something they made up because I'm going to do your chakras here, then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take all this kind of stuff and put it together. No, we're not doing that no more. We done with that. We're done with that. People are out here getting y'all for your money and trying to teach you about sacred geometry or whatever. Life in shambles. Life in total chaos. Selling you detoxes, trying to tell you what to do, and they're not doing it themselves. We can't do that no more. And the whole parasite thing. Let me just say this. Majority of the people that's telling y'all parasites, mucus, and fungus and all that kind of stuff, they are fear-mongering you. They are literally fear-mongering you. Like I said, I do agree that you should do some type of deworming every 3 months, like they say in Africa. Specifically Sierra Leone, every 6 months. And I got that from a traditional herbalist, every 3 months to deworm yourself. But again, that was like the most 3 days. That was it. You want to make sure you have a good balance of mucus in your body or whatever, but you don't want to clean it out. That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to clean out the mucus in your body. Like, that's ridiculous. You can't even enjoy sex like that. Like, it's painful. You're talking about water is not lubricating. It's drying as hell. So I don't understand where we're getting this idea from. And if you're eating a mucusless diet, congratulations. You're probably going to have more mucus because your body's like, hey, I don't want to die. Let me produce more. I literally knew somebody who was like trying to clean out all the mucus in the system. And he was like, every time I keep eating something, like it just keeps producing mucus. And I'm like, yeah, because your body's trying not to kill itself. Your ideology is flawed, but you don't understand. Right? And the whole fungus thing, like you need fungus to survive. People talk about the whole I was so big on that. Oh, candida is causing all your problems with eczema and skin issues and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, maybe the overgrowth is it because you're eating processed foods and sugary crap and poor quality meats and all this kind of stuff. But it's like you still need fungus to survive, though. Like the worms eat your body for a reason when you die. It's not because they're coming into the casket. It's because they're coming out of your body. Like it's a life cycle. You just need to learn the balance and the harmony of it all. Mixing herbs that don't even get along and compatible. Yes. And then telling people that don't need those kind of herbs to use those kind of herbs because this person over here used it and got a result. You know what I mean? We know where they got that from, Sebi. Oh my gosh. I think Sebi has been, in his intention of trying to wake people up to better foods or whatnot, I think he has probably done more harm than good. Or maybe people have taken it and done more harm than good, but it has caused more harm than good. Number one, at least he was on record saying that he was eating fish and Gouda cheese, right? At least. And I know personally from people who know him, like his actual family, who said he was eating lizards too. So, I mean, and I got this from a very high quality vegan chef out here, whose name I will not name because I'm not going to go down that route. I'm just not going to go down that route. But yeah, he was out here eating all kind of animal foods and nobody knew. Poor quality grains and flours. Yeah, poor quality grains and flours. You're not soaking anything. You're not sprouting anything. You're not fermenting anything. You're just eating it straight raw. Of course you have so much crap going on in your body. Of course you got so much inflammation. Like, duh, it makes sense, right? Which is why I always say you need to know your baseline before you start adding in all these different detoxes and diets and all this kind of stuff. You need to know what you're doing right now. Because if you don't know what your body is doing right now, what your normal is right now, how can you be able to tell what's working for you and what's not? It's simple math, guys. Like, this is what you learn basic biology 101 when you're doing lab tests and lab results, which I did. You have to first know what the normal is so that you can understand what the variables are. And you got to understand the variables to know what the normal is, right? It's just like, it goes hand in hand. Sebi admitted to eating fish on video. Oh yeah, that video is on my page. You got to scroll down a little bit longer, but he definitely admitted to eating fish. He said he couldn't get off it. And he was acting like it was an addiction. No, sir, like, your body needs it. And you just don't understand that's what's going on. All right, so I got my notes here. And yeah, so intentions, right? A lot of people do this and they have the intentions of helping people go, get healthier or get rid of disease and all these things. But like I always say, a lot of the bullets that hit little children were intended for someone else. A lot of the bullets that hit little children were intended for someone else. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like I said earlier, that sounds to me like a lot of good people on their way to hell. Because all they have are good intentions. But what are your results? What are you actually producing? What are you showing people for real? And if what you're showing people for real is just this, oh, I'm into this whole spiritual thing and, sacred geometry and, I'm all about getting to connect myself. People are being pimped out here, for real. Y'all are, it's like this new age spiritualism, and it's really hurting people more than it's helping. You got people who will sit and watch YouTube lectures and give you YouTube lectures for days, 4 hours, But what are the results they're producing? Nothing. They're running around naked in the jungle trying to tell you how to live. Hey, how are you? And it's just like, at some point, we have to hold people accountable for their competence. For their competence. Do you know in functional patterns, nobody cares if you say that you can get these kind of results. Nobody cares. Actually, we don't care. We look down on that because all you're doing is talking. What we want to see is, how did your concepts, protocols, systems, training, how did that help this person move better? Let me see their gait cycle, meaning how they walk in space. Let me see how they run. Let me see it from the front. Let me see it from the side. Let me see it from the back. I want to see how your protocols help this person be better. And for some reason, when you do that in the health community, when you ask them, well, what methodology do you utilize? How do you determine whether what you're doing, whether it be a detox or a diet, how do you determine whether that is helping somebody or not? Because it seems like to me, all you're doing is telling people to eat fruits and drink a lot of juice and water, and that's it. Then they lose weight, and that's it. That's not a methodology for real. That's not really a protocol at all. Because what do they do after that? You have nothing. How are you measuring this? You have nothing. We're being bamboozled by entrepreneurs who have great marketing. Simple. If you want to know if they're legit or not, literally ask them, hey, this looks like a great detox. What certifications do you have? Are you trained? Do you have any lineage at all? Fellow FP, respect to your journey. Your intellect is on point. Keep disposing the BS. Hey, facts. What's up? No, facts. And like I said, I was vegan at one point in time, and I remember going to functional patterns, like for my first certification in human foundations. And Nadi was like in his mind, literally, and then told me this later, like, yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to happen because you're looking like skin and bones. Right? I'm going to show my before and afters of my gait cycle. When I was newly, just fresh off of being vegan, I looked so small. And I just literally went in for a session with Michael here in Atlanta. Man, I looked so much better, just like weight-wise. Mechanics still a little shaky, but I looked so much better. And you can see the difference, So I say all that to say that you got to ask people for the result. Don't be afraid to ask people, what result are you producing with this, right? With my book, Self-Care Regulations, my goal is to give people information like, hey, from my 7 years in biomechanics plus, this is what I noticed. This is what I recognize, okay? And you need to be privy on this information too. I'm not telling you, I'm reminding you. This is what our ancestors did. And I'm not talking about thousands of years ago. I'm talking about 50 to 60 to 100 years ago. They were eating off the land, plants, and animals. And that's just how it goes. There's no way you can be vegan in a modern day society. In a regular society. You can only do that in a modern day society. Importing foods that are out of season and depending on agriculture to feed you, it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. What are you going to do when you're really hungry and the crop didn't grow this year? What are you going to do? You're going to starve? No, that's not how your body's set up. You think you're going to starve, but what you're going to do is start hunting them rabbits, You're going to start shooting them quail. You're going to start bowing an arrow out the turkeys. Like, you're going to start doing whatever it takes in order for you to survive. And we have to stop being so bamboozled by entrepreneurs with great marketing. These people look sick in real life. They have no energy in real life. They look pale in real life. My face has filled out so much more. My body has filled out so much more since not being vegan. And a lot of people think it's like, oh, I'm trying to take away veganism. You can have whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, your body needs sustenance. And this goes back to the whole detoxing thing. If you are perpetually detoxing, what are you purging from? What are you actually detoxing? You've been vegan for 5 years. What are you detoxing? The toxins in the air? Are you serious? Thank you. I feel great. I feel great. Absolutely great. You know, I feel so much better. I look so much better. I should do it before and after. Total difference. I don't even really see my collarbone like I used to anymore. It used to be like, hey, nice to meet you. Now it's like, you know, it's a huge difference. But my whole thing is stay away from these detox programs and these Yoni steams. Okay? These women, oh, thank you for my brows, girl. I did it myself, you know? But I utilized the brow girls like at home browing or whatever. So, yeah. But I am happier. You know why? Because I'm satiated and I'm not fucking hungry. That's why I'm happier. I could have bit one of y'all faces off when I was vegan. I could have straight up bit you. Okay? And I would have if you had the right seasoning, okay? It would have been over with. No, but facts, but like I said, I was doing the detoxes. I was making the detoxes for people. You know, I was sending them out. I was that person, you know, and thankfully, functional patterns saved me, y'all, because it made me have, like I said, in functional patterns, nobody cares what you can say. We only care about what you can produce. And so I couldn't just come up to somebody and be like, hey, you should be vegan because X, Y, and Z. Because they're going to be like, okay, well, how are you measuring that? Like, what is your methodology? And I had to create a methodology, which is how I got Self-Care Regulations. It's such a great book, not only because it reminds you of our ancestral ways, and it also gives you a chart for you to literally like chart yourself so you can see what's working in real time and what's not. Oftentimes disease is not shown just because you know, you have this crazy like ailment one day. It started with, now you can't sleep. Now you're not defecating every day. Now your pee looks like that. Now this is happening. And when you're using the self-care chart, you can literally see that happening in real time. I use that chart to save my life. So I'm telling y'all, and I use it with my clients, and my clients love it. So I literally just made it into a easier form for you to be able to just like insert little, you know, letters and check boxes and things like that, so you can go through it a little easier. But it's very important. I was so angry as a vegan. Oh yeah, I was angry too. And I didn't realize it was because I was hungry. You know, I was hungry all the time, but I was angry, definitely. You know, just like, oh, and antisocial. Like, just, I don't want to be, you know, there's a lot of things. FP all day. Oh, you already know. I was vegan for 5 years and now I have a laundry list of health issues. Oh yeah, facts. Me too. I was vegan for like 5.5, 6 years and I have a laundry list of health issues. Not as much as I did before. You know, it took me a while to get my metabolism back right. It took me a while to develop a better relationship with food. It took me a while to be able to train again, especially with FP, because it wasn't that I couldn't train with FP, but my nervous system just couldn't handle it because I just didn't have nutritional value to be able to even sustain it. Because FP is so like mentally involved. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna lift this bus, you know, it's not just I'm gonna lift this thing up and put tension on the muscle. You know, it's so much more than that, and you really just got to go through it in order to understand it. But yeah, so my main thing is stop doing these Yoni stains from different people. If this is not an herbalist, if this is not a certified midwife, if this is not somebody who really knows what they're doing, don't do it. If they're not praying over the herbs, they're not saying certain kind of chants, then you might as well just drink some water and go sit down. Okay, take a nap, because it's gonna have the same effect. All right. So that's about it. I wanted to let you guys know though, for those of you who are interested in like in skincare, things like that. I have my business, Mami Jo Market. Boom. For the sapos, it's really great for exfoliating the body. You know, when I was vegan, my elbows got so dry and hard, and so did my knees and just different places like that. And so the sap was pretty long, but this is a really great way to cleanse your back as well. And it's just a really great exfoliator. It doesn't harbor bacteria. It lasts for over 2 years. Really great. Go to MamiJoMarket.com or Mami Jo Market on Instagram, and you'll be able to find it. I want to talk to you about deworming, or can you go more into that? You said every 3 months. I've never done this. Yeah, so normally people say you deworm every 6 months, right? And I got this actually from my own lineage. So within my family, we would deworm every 6 months or whatever. And this is really just to maintain the harmony of worms in your body, to, you know, health, so to speak. You don't want them to overdo it. You get worms from anything, whether it just be walking outside, your food, or whatever. So we would do that every 6 months. Now, many people have different ways of deworming. But when I went to Sierra Leone, West Africa, the herbalist there, she told me that because I brought her my book and I gave her my book, and she read in the book and she was just like, yeah, but you want to deworm every 3 months. So I started to deworm every 3 months, and I found that it has a lot of, you know, wonderful wonders for my health, as far as like my appetite and my skin and things like that. So you know, you can play around with 3 months, every 6 months, that kind of thing. But it really is just maintaining the harmony of worms in your body, because it's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. They're in fish, they're in meats, they're in plants, they're in vegetables, they're on the doorknobs, like they're everywhere. So, you know, I always just recommend doing some type of deworming protocol. You don't want to do something that's like days and months long, though. I know some people go on, you know, parasite cleanses and it's like 30 days, 90 days. No. Can you go into how? Okay, so it's different ways that you can do it. It's different ways that you can do a deworming process. You can do the way the old folks used to do it would be take some kind of herb. Some people use poke root leaves. I don't recommend doing this unless you know what you're doing, because you might kill yourself, okay? So this is why I say you need to go to the herbalist. You need to go to somebody who really knows what he's talking about, because if you use certain herbs, you might take yourself out of here. But traditionally the way it goes is you would use either some kind of herb combination or some kind of herbs, and you would, you know, just eat those herbs, and it would deworm you. It would just like literally go out your body, deworm you. Some people put you on bone broth or, you know, certain kind of things like that, so that you can kind of just, you're not intaking a lot of sugar, things like that. I know a lot of vegans go on like no fruit diets and things like that, and they're just eating vegetables. But the only thing with that is that you're going to be super weak, because you can't really handle that, detoxing all those herbs and not have any energy. It takes a lot of energy to detox. So but that's the process. It generally is some kind of herb, and then you just intake it for, I think at the most like 3 days, and then you'll pass the worms and you'll feel a difference, and then you just go on about your day. You know, especially if you're eating high quality food, you just go on about your day. Literally, it's just a process of like every 3 months or every 6 months. People use different kind of things. Some people use like a combination of black walnut and wormwood and papaya and garlic and all those kind of things. But when it comes to parasite cleanses, I'm not against those. I would just go to somebody that, I would literally look for somebody that like is certified in herbalism, or that is able to give you more insight on the parasite cleanse, for what they recommend, you know, so that you'd be able to kind of get more information on it and not just take anybody's parasite cleanse. Because again, people say that they're cleansing parasites and all they're doing is giving you a laxative with a lot of cascara sagrada and a lot of cenopods or senna just to make you go to the bathroom, right? And that's the majority of the issue. And a lot of people don't know this too, is that if you take too much cascara sagrada, too much senna, you can actually put black spots in your colon. They may not be, you know, dangerous on the, if you do it a few times, but you can also like spot your colon. And I learned that because I went to a colonoscopy with my aunt, and she was heavy into the laxatives, and she had some black spots. And the first thing the guy said was, have you been taking a lot of senna or cascara sagrada? Because you got black spots in your colon. So keep that in mind. If you're looking in the back of these laxatives, aka detoxes, that's what they are for the most part. And yeah, that's all I have on that one. But like I said, to just wrap this up, you can go to the link in the bio right now. You can get your self-care regulations book for only $17. Ebook normally is $27. It'll give you a methodology for you to be able to measure, and it's a basic thing. You don't need a degree. You can literally measure your health and see what's working for you and what you need to take out, what you need to keep in, and that will give you a general idea of your baseline normal. So that way, if you do want to implement a diet, if you do want to implement some detox or whatever that you get from a credible person, you will be able to see how it works for you, or if it doesn't work for you, and you'll be able to understand what your body's going through and the changes that is happening in real time. All right. So like I said, share this live with somebody that you know needs to hear it. I know people may be in their feelings about it. Trust me, I got a lot of friends who do these detoxes, who promote these detoxes, but it's not about, and I'm not coming for any of them. I'm really coming for myself and what I used to promote. And I just want to set the record straight. You need to get your detoxes, your Yoni steams from somebody that's credible, from somebody who has a lineage, or somebody who is studied in an institution and they actually have, you know, like credibility behind them, and not somebody who woke up one day and decided that spirit told them to go to Google and YouTube and listen to a bunch of people tell them what they need to do with herbs, put it in a pot, and then send it to you. It's much more deeper than that. And I pray you all have a great night. My purpose is to go live every single day. I'm going to be wearing white every single day, so don't expect nothing less. If I wear black, I might, but generally it's going to be white. And yeah, so you're funny. But yeah, I'm purposing to go live every single day. I have a topic that I'm purposing to hit every single day. Make sure you go get my book, Self-Care Regulations. Like I said, I'm a 7+ year biomechanics trainer and practitioner. And I was vegan for 6.5 years. And I just want to let you guys know what I saw behind the scenes, because a lot of y'all only see the surface level of people online, but I saw behind the scenes. I got to see what's really happening behind the scenes, and I just want to spread awareness, let you guys know, and remind you about the ancestral health that we have and the birthright that is to us to be healthy and not have to go through all of these sacred geometry classes and all of these, you know, Yoni steams, but it's a general Yoni steam that anybody can buy. It's not customized. You know, you always want to make sure if you're getting legit herbs and medicine, a consultation will always what is the word, not follow, but it's always like a prerequisite to the actual medicine. You always want to get a consultation. So that being said, make sure you share, and I'll see you guys mañana. Wow. How you end this thing? I forgot though.